So, Hannah, we're thinking about discipleship and we're thinking about small groups.
Hmm.
Sometimes people call them home groups, they call them growth groups, nurture groups,
Hmm.
whatever they call them. What's their value, do you think, to discipleship Lights for Christ, of having small groups in your church?
I think small groups are a great way to practice our faith on a weekly basis. And they're also a great way for people who are new to faith to learn how to pray with other Christians, to learn how to read the Bible, to really increase in their Bible confidence. And it gives all of us, whether we've been a Christian for only a short time or a long time, an opportunity to practice Christian character. You said recently in one of your blog posts that it's easier to be kind, humble, and patient when there are people around to be
Yeah,
kind, humble, and patient towards.
yeah,
Having that regular meeting with people to read the Bible, to pray together, to practice hospitality, to be together, gives us an opportunity to love each other.
okay, yeah, and more than being in church together.
I think when you meet in those smaller groups, you have different relationships than you do with the wider church community. You are perhaps able to share a little bit more of your life with people that you know better, and you can really have that deep time of fellowship with other people.
Okay, yeah, and I've been thinking about how they impact growth.
Mm.
So quite a lot of studies have shown that churches that have small groups, home groups, whatever you want to call them, they they grow. It's closely related to the growth, the numerical growth, as well as the spiritual growth. You've been talking about spiritual growth, but the
Mm.
numerical growth of the church is closely related to having those groups because it's a place where you ought to belong to.
Hmm.
And when people come into church, they've got a place to belong. And quite a number of studies have shown that. We're thinking about Lent
Mm.
coming up. So, and we were talking about how Lent courses, if churches have those, might be a jumping off point
Yeah.
for starting small groups. Do you want to say a bit about that?
Yeah, often churches will have an Advent course or a Lent course, and people might really enjoy meeting together for those 4, 5, 6 weeks. But then sometimes those groups will stop after that period of time. But we want to invite people to start something new or revitalise an existing group during Lent this year and then keep going after Easter. So that people can keep growing in faith and keep reading the Bible together. So we have a new resource this year. It's called Being Lights for Christ.
Okay.
It's an introduction to being lights for Christ, to the idea of Christian discipleship. Quite often people have been in church for a long time, but they're still not quite sure what that idea of discipleship, of following Jesus Monday to Saturday as well as Sunday, what that actually looks like for them.
Okay.
So this is a really simple introduction to that idea. There are 4 sessions and they follow the 4 W's model.
Okay.
So that's welcome, worship, word, and wonder.
Yeah.
So it's a really simple structure that after Lent can then be adapted and used every week with very little preparation.
Wow. Okay. And so we were talking about one of the things, one of the barriers for people might be a lack of leaders or a
Mm.
lack of like how to organise that.
Yeah,
So
sometimes the practicalities can be quite
yeah,
different.
yeah.
What would you have to say about that?
Well, I think if you're going to have a Lent course and you normally meet in church, you could just organise your setup in church into little groups, so people
Hmm.
could meet in little groups, and those little groups could then carry on being the small groups. Or if you feel like you've not got enough people to lead that, you could have a group that of leaders who are going to be potential leaders and do the Lent course with them, and then afterwards and sort of model it with them, and
Mm.
then afterwards they can go on and lead those groups. It doesn't matter whether everybody comes to church and splits off or they go to each other's houses. The idea is that they meet regularly
Hmm.
outside of Sunday in a little group, like you said at the beginning, to learn how to pray, learn how to read the Bible together, practice those Christian virtues.
Mm.
So Lent could be a launch pad.
Lent could be a launch pad. That's what
Yeah.
we'd like to encourage.
Yeah, great. Thank you.